How many Xbox players are we expecting on release day? Steam's all-time peak player count is 458,000. Pilstead has stated that the game gets 2.5 million players a week, meaning that a significant number of PlayStation users exist. It's going to be way less than this subreddit thinks it's going to be. Both of the Xbox guys I know are like baffled at the notion of having to pay 40 euros for a game since they've been so conditioned to play S that's in Game Pass. I'm going to say it's 15 to 20,000 players on top of the average daily peak concurrent player number. It's going to be like 25k tops. My son barely even touches the Xbox anymore except to see what's new on Game Pass. I'd say 50 to 100,000, but more is also a possibility. Some people underestimate how many Xbox players really wanted to play Helldivers 2. Players are starting to wonder if even with Team Green joining our ranks next week, has Game Master Joel lost his damn mind, tossing the Helldivers into a completely unwinnable situation, or are the secret Xbox pre-order numbers for Helldivers 2 about to blow away all expectations, showing up at just the right time to push this major order over the finish line and to victory? In case you're new here, please consider supporting the channel by hitting subscribe and ringing that notifications bell. And now, let's put on those tinfoil hats and dive into next week with Helldivers. I got sent this article from a member of our Discord community, and considering what's currently been going on within the game, it hits close to home. Coming to us from Brendan Lowry over at Windows Central, it reads, quote, "I'm thankful for those Xbox Helldivers 2 reinforcements because sweet liberty. The latest major order is absolutely absurd. Can players pull it off?" With a sub-headline that says, Helldivers 2 players have just over a week to kill almost 9 billion of Super Earth's sworn enemies. It's an exciting time to be a fan of PlayStation Studios and Arrowhead Game Studios' critically acclaimed 2024 co-op shooter Helldivers 2, as the Windows PC and PS5 game is about to get a huge wave of new players when its Xbox version goes live on August 26th. At the same time, there's also a special new Legendary Warbond coming out that's entirely themed around a long-requested Helldivers 2 Halo ODST crossover. The items within, 2 armors and 4 weapons based on iconic Halo 3 ODST gear, plus a variety of additional cosmetics, look to be some of the highest quality unlocks ever added to the title, with one even including a nod to a famous Halo Easter egg. Now, we covered this topic a few days ago, where we went over the new Halo ODST gear, where it might land in terms of viability, and you should definitely go check out that video. Link on screen, and you can also find it down in the video description, because we all want this Halo gear to be awesome, but we've also got the Killzone Warbond as a counterpoint for premium offerings, collaborations, and the power levels for those as they hit the live game. Anyways, notably though, these reinforcements and fancy new pieces of kit are coming at a time when they're both sorely needed. In advance of their arrival next week, Arrowhead and its enigmatic Game Master Joel have introduced a new major order that's going to be absurdly difficult for the community to complete, perhaps even more arduous than the defense of Super Earth itself. Its objective is surprisingly simple, yet nigh insurmountable. Before August ends in a little over a week, the Helldivers have to kill 6 billion Terminids, 1.5 billion automatons, and 1 billion Illuminate troops in order to stave off a galaxy-wide invasion. Although that's 8.5 billion of Lady Liberty's sworn enemies to put in the ground, and even though we have a lengthy time limit, it's going to come down to the wire, and then they include a link where we can track the progress. That link is to the Helldivers Companion App, which you can always find a link to in every one of my Helldivers video descriptions. And hear me out, Team Green recruits. Bookmark that site right now. Put it on a sticky note and circle that sucker 12 times in bright highlighter, because the amount of critical information you can find on that site is invaluable. Now, what that site does show us is at our current kill rates and player counts, not including Xbox, we've got 1 week and 1 day left on each of these faction major orders, and listen to the projections here. 6 billion bugs completed in 3 weeks, 1 day. Again, Keep in mind, we've got 1 week, 1 day left on all of these. The bots kill 1.5 billion clankers, completed in 1 week, 2 days. So that one's actually much closer. And finally, the Illuminate, which dropped in later than the other two. 1 billion squid will be finished in 2 weeks, 1 day. So things are overall looking dire as we try to take on this three-pronged attack against managed democracy. Continuing on, an official briefing from Super Earth High Command makes it clear that even with an expanded force, the fight will be difficult. Every piece of ground held, every enemy killed could make the difference. This is the first time we've seen a massive three-pronged attack like this launched by the various factions hostile to Super Earth, and as the brass have pointed out, quote, this coordinated tripartite assault represents obvious collusion amongst the mindless enemies of managed democracy. Indeed, it seems the Terminids, Automatons, and Illuminate are all working together to try and wear down Super Earth armed forces across all three fronts of the galactic war, a worrying development and a strategy that we can only counter if we meet the enemy everywhere and make them fight tooth and nail for every inch of ground. Naturally, that begs the question, will the bugs, bots, and squids continue collaborating in future engagements? Ultimately, only time will tell. And besides, thinking is above my pay grade. Of course, as a Helldiver, I'm not getting paid at all. There's no time for thinking when there are defenses to hold. The mission before us is daunting, no doubt, but with the help of the incoming Xbox reinforcements and the sweet new armaments from the Halo ODST crossover, I have faith the Helldivers will emerge victorious against all odds. One strategy that will improve our chances of success is completing mission objectives and extracting as slowly as possible, while simultaneously trying to get into intense battles as much as you can by shooting everything you see and purposely letting calls for enemy reinforcements go through. Given that the major order's objective is kill count based, doing everything you can to maximize kills will be important, and we'll come back to that point in just a moment. If the community does actually manage to pull out a win here, players will be rewarded handsomely with a colossal payout of 175 Warbond medals, 55 for each enemy faction we're able to hold the line against. Those will come in very handy when trying to unlock whatever Halo ODST items from the legendary Warbond you aren't able to get while this offensive is ongoing. For many vets, we are maxed out on medals, but as we hit the new Warbond and start spending them, those extra rewards will come in handy. And he finishes up with, again, the fight against us is going to be a brutal one, but not an impossible one if the community, strengthened by waves of new Xbox recruits fresh out of boot camp, fights as hard and as smart as it can. I'm certainly going to dive some this weekend and do my part, and I hope to see you dropping into battle as well. Alright, I'll include a link to this article down in the video description. You should definitely go check it out. And Lowry does make a good point about these major orders because, in the past, it's mostly been about liberating and defense, but with all three of these MOs, it's only about kills. So, when that bot trooper throws his arm up to fire off the flare, let him. When those scavengers or hive guards throw back their heads and start screaming like hell for backup, let that breach come in, and also likewise for the Illuminate. When you get a watcher in your area, let them push up those flares to bring in those dropships. Of course, within reason for whatever you and your squad can handle, because we need body counts, and that means more than what we're going to be able to find on objectives, POIs, and patrols. We're also currently seeing all kinds of action in the form of dispatches that are flying in left, right, and center. Low orbit Illuminate interdiction, adding on 150 seconds additional for squid extractions, which I think should be ending soon. Of course, the Illuminate MO being tacked on for that extra 1 billion kills. An Impaler rampage on Ursica 11. The Jet Brigade have now somehow returned on Curia, and as of this morning, the DSS was attacked by the Automatons, killing a bunch of Eagle 1 flight crew and personnel, taking the Eagle Storm offline for an estimated 72 hours. If you're keeping count, that's 8.5 billion combined kills across all three factions. We've got dispatches dropping daily, along with Super Earth slowly being clamped down on as we lose territory on all three fronts. So what about Team Green? What can we expect from them next Tuesday? Well, no official counts have been publicized, and that probably won't come at all. Or when there is a number announced, it will come as some sort of combined figure, like 3.5 million players played Helldivers 2 this week, much like we saw in the past when the Illuminate hit Super Earth. But what we can do is start to break down the player count split between PC and PlayStation, and that might actually give us a clue about Xbox next week. How do we do this? By using the in-game Helldivers active stat at the top left of the galactic map, currently sitting at 65,321 players as of 11 a.m. Saturday morning, and that is combined, by the way, so that's PC and PlayStation together. To find out the split, we can then turn to SteamDB, which at the same time, we had 65,000 total players. The Steam cut of that was 49,522 on PC alone. Now that comes to roughly 76% of the players who were logged on and fighting for managed democracy are doing so on PC, with 15,799 of those brave souls logging in through PlayStation. Leaving us with the $100 million question, what is Arrowhead expecting for Team Green players? Does Game Master Joel already see the number is going to max out the server capacity, and that's why we're seeing all those crazy effects that are dropping into the game, like the DSS offline, the Jet Brigade returning, etc., etc.? Is he expecting the Helldiver forces to jump from 65,000 to 165,000 once they flip the switch and bring in Xbox? Or will that Reddit post speculating that we will see an additional 15 to 20,000 players on top of the average daily peak player counts be it, falling well short of what some think it will be? Now, I honestly don't know, and that's an excellent topic for chat to sound off about. For instance, if you are on Xbox, have you already purchased the game and will be dropping in day one next week? Or with PlayStation currently showing 15-ish thousand logged on, will Xbox match that, as the Reddit post speculated, with it not being on Game Pass being one of the major contributing factors for limiting those Xbox player counts? Personally, I'm looking forward to welcoming whatever number joins us from Xbox, and I would love to see 75 to 100,000 more daily players join in the Galactic War, but part of me is also saying to remain cautiously optimistic. Who knows? Maybe that's just me. Is Joel looking at those hidden player counts and pre-buffing the Major Order resistance, expecting a massive round of Xbox reinforcements? Or will the actual numbers not match up with the hype leading into next week? Definitely drop a comment with your thoughts on this one, and let's keep it honest but civil. And I think you know what I'm saying there. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to stay up to date on all things Helldivers. A massive shout out goes out, and thanks to all of our current channel members, for without your support, content like this would not be possible. And until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.